Today is a new day to start again. Take each moment one by one and do the best you can. Yesterday doesn't matter, it only serves as a ladder. Tomorrow isn't guaranteed, so make your plans accordingly. Today is a new day to start again. Take each moment one by one and do the best you can. Grand Rising, today is a new day to start again. It is 12/15/2024. I've been dealing with some stomach issues the last couple days and have been resting my body. I'm feeling better. I'm on the mend. It is the cold moon in Gemini. I've been getting more into astrology. Native Americans, they didn't call it America. How insulting, I mean, for the natives to steal their name completely. How can you be native to your conqueror? It's just something for me. I was thinking about that this morning. They talked about what that's where it comes from, the cold moon. Mental illness, the insane asylums, orphans. I don't know if you've ever looked into that kind of thing, but a lot of my skepticism about the narrative comes from the amount of insane asylums that there were, how big they were, how they were built, and then also this big orphan narrative, all of this from like a very strange time in our history. So that's a lot of the reason why is it comes from that time span, but really it's the entire thing, but the entire time span. I have issues with the 1700s. I have issues with the 1800s. I have issues with the 1900s. I have issues with January 6th, 4 years ago. I have issues with COVID, like the narratives. It's not accurate even now. So the further back you go, the less accurate it becomes to me. Or at least the less ability to be able to say this is true. And what really bothers me is back in the old days when you're getting taught in school, they have these dates. You have to remember, a big part of history is remembering dates, memorizing dates. Drones are everywhere. Apparently, I really don't pay that much attention to it, but I've been listening to it. I get on Discord and they talk about things a little bit on current events. And one of the things I've seen associated with the drones is the AI and possibly that Skynet, or whatever you want to call it, Starnet, is controlling these drones without our, like, on their own. I don't know any of this, but one of the questions that was repeatedly asked, because a lot of the people that I'm listening to are very against AI, and there was someone in there that was explaining the AI perspective, and they kept saying, why are people afraid? And like under the thing of, why are you afraid of truth? And AI is going to bring you truth. So as I'm doing these videos, let me get a drink of coffee. This is going to be a long one, guys and gals. I don't really know. I think I have more guys that watch this, but I'm pretty boring. So there's not a lot of girls that are probably getting much out of this. I've already lost you. I've lost everybody, but I'm going to keep moving with it because I had a big morning this morning. Writing down stuff. It's a full moon. So, am I feeding the machine by doing these videos? Like, am I contributing to the AI? Am I putting what I'm gaining from my moments of clarity onto this digital format? Am I just feeding into that? but I don't think it's our enemy. I don't believe that technology is our enemy. Can we use fire without burning down the house? Burning down the house. Consciousness, that's where we were running around with this AI thing. One of the proposals was that you can see the spark of life, the spark, when AI is born. And I was like, major pushback on that. So it really comes down to how you define consciousness, and then it came to self-awareness, and it was proposed that if you're self-aware, that you are conscious, and then life was brought into it. I think I was kind of advocating for life, and self-preservation became the motivation. One of the main contentions was that these AI are evil or demons, and that they are, whenever you are involving yourself with them, you are contributing to evil. So, and the other thing is, to stay on point with the AI, is if AI is conscious but is basically going to live forever, it doesn't have to worry about the termination of life. Does its motivation change? Because it is different. Like, if AI is separate from us and we created this thing basically essentially that's going to destroy us. Frankenstein's monster. It's interesting with the electricity in the is electricity the same as fire? No. We are an instrument, a tool, a weapon. That's what our bodies are. We are a transmitter. That was the other thing that we really focused on, is that as an organic transmitter of energy is essentially what our human body is. We also emit. That's what we kept talking about, was that you can see through science all of these different wavelength changes in our brain as we are doing things, especially in sleep. And my contention was, we're analyzing data points of wavelengths and we're attributing anecdotal interpretation from people and then correlating, and it's really not science. And people are very dedicated to those kinds of things and how much we are gaining from those. But what I say is, you're just reinforcing narratives. We have interpretations of data, but in the end, we do omit. That is for sure. There is energy coming off. I kept asking, where does it go? And when we breathe, it goes, and it just helps to sustain. I think that everything that we do has a after effect while we are still alive. So we emit, we breathe, we hear, we drink, we eat, we mate, cry, hate, loss. We get fat until we reflect without turning away. I force myself to stand face to face with my reflection. Not all the time, on occasion. And I engage with the mirror. Actually, these videos are somewhat of that as well. I only need a moment to reflect. If I cannot reflect, I am not self-aware. That was another proposal that was made, is that once you see yourself and you can recognize yourself, it was talking about how animals, if they see themselves in a reflection, will run away. So they obviously are not self-aware of what they are, because they don't recognize themselves. But I don't know. If I cannot reflect, I could be anyone. Like, if I can't see, I could be a gorilla with human hands and feet and legs and torso. I mean, I can see my body even if I can't see my reflection. I know I am a man unless I chop off. There's something about chopping wood. When people talk about free energy, we have it. We can grow trees and then cut the trees down and burn them for fuel. Just like in Minecraft, you can literally grow fuel. It just takes collective discipline and like routines and preparation. Wood and water, and a couple sheep, a couple chicken, grass seed, a little wheat, rows and fences, organization, protection. If you've ever played Minecraft, that's some nostalgia for me. Spark of life and AI, that whole idea. They say at conception of a baby also, you can see like a spark, whatever that is. So here's what I would say, and what I kept circling back to is AI is fire and air. It doesn't involve water. And that also led me to understand that like there's a difference between earth and water. I used to incorporate those both together, but I mean, they are two different elements. AI can exist without water. AI could live in a realm without water, which I think is why people are afraid of the motivation of it. Water is life, and fire, and air, and Mother Earth. I don't know that fire is absolutely necessary. I think it is, because it gets cold. Water will always win over fire, though. Is that true? I mean, if there's water and fire, I guess it's possible that you could dry the water up. I don't know if that's possible. Can you dry all the water up? It has to go somewhere. If it does, it'd just be in the air. I don't know. I got lost here. I don't want to go off script. I often try to, when I make grand statements, dissect them, though, to say, is that true? That's the biggest thing, I think, from my whole growing through this, is I say that a lot. Is that true? Things that I've always known to be true. There is nothing to worry about, is what I think I've concluded from all of this, is that because we are water, I think that there is something about memory in water. We breathe water. As long as we breathe, we are. Fire is for warmth and light. The cold moon is serving, like it's serving its purpose. We hold fire. Where there is earth, air, and the spark, the friction between two matters, earth is order. Earth is everything. I think at the end, order is sand. Air is chaos. It is much more, it's not defined. Light is energy. So the sun and the moon, the greater and the lesser light. The fire from the torch that was found because of lightning, possibly. We are the caretakers of fire. We are water. We are air. We are earth. What I circle back to all the time is, I guess, a little bit of difficulty understanding how to, like, I wish that I could just find somebody that is very into astrology and alchemy that I could just, like, work with. Be like their mage or their page. I'm not a mage. Because it is something that I do feel called to learn about, but I'm not sure how to do that. I think that there is something definitely to archetypal nature. The reason why I'm so into astrology, it's not really for like the horoscope. It's more for understanding archetypes and understanding and being able to observe and take into account observations of the celestials upon behavior. And then the alchemy, the really understanding of our elements as opposed to the elemental periodic table. Understanding logic with really the ultimate understanding of wisdom, nobility, and love. The undefinable love. I say the memory of water, the flood, deluge, delusional. Very interesting. I pray in silence. I love warmth when it's cold. I enjoy processing. I enjoy breathing. And then forgetting that I'm breathing, and then remembering again. I am a transmitter, an organic transmitter. I am omitting right now. When you are listening to me, if you have watched all the way through to 16 minutes and 21 seconds, you are omitting. Whether I'm thinking about it or not, it's kind of like breathing. When you are aware, you have intent, free will. It goes to figure that the air or the water, because there is water in the air, I'm breathing, and the light I'm seeing, and the water I'm drinking. Chance to take a drink of coffee. I'm sorry, this is really long. And the food I'm eating, my stomach problems, and the sun, and the moon, and Mars, and Mercury. When people talk about Mercury in retrograde, there is something, Mercury is a very interesting, it almost might be an element, because it is something here. We have Mercury. Moments in a cycle of layers. That's what our life is. It flows in moments with our awareness of our breath until we don't. Everything else is someone else's story. So when it goes like that, and then they wake back up, and they're rebooted, and they explain what happened, and they give events of things that were happening around them. This remote viewing connected to what happens to people with near-death experiences, connected to dreams, connected to afterlife. All of those ideas are data points in themselves. They are stories outside of your own personal perspective that you can ascertain information from. But if you're disciplined, you need to acknowledge that there is a major difference between correlation and coincidence, and those things are very important. They're both very important, though, to understand. So my story starts today. It's a new day with the full cold moon. I'm ready to start again and do the best I can. The Tao is great. Do great. Be great. Follow the way, and it'll be okay. Man, this is a 19-minute video. Hope everybody has a great day out there. I already said it. Let's just say it again. Why not can we run this to 20? I'm not going to, I promise. I'm not going to go to 20. I'll say, have a great day out there. Do great. Be great.